Hi.
Hello.
Come here.
Hi. I let myself in because there's nobody at the front desk. Where's Barbara?
Barbara asked if she could take an early lunch.
Then what about our lunch?
Well, just give me 5 minutes to clear all this stuff up, and I'll be ready to go.
Want me to help?
Sure, if you could hand me some of that.
Oh, J. Avery right there on top. That means she was here recently?
Yesterday.
Well, how is she, or is that confidential information?
Nothing new to report medically. There was something, however.
Well, really, something you're not very happy about.
Well, it just wasn't very pleasant. She started talking about Derek, and I thought it'd be a good time to ask her if she was considering telling him the truth about it.
Oh, and?
Her reaction was immediate.
Negative.
Yeah, she said she had no intention of telling him about her illness, thought it would turn him off completely.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. She does. She thought he'd be kind, sympathetic, utterly repelled by seeing a woman who... Anyway, that was her decision.
Well, it's hers to make. I just think it's so unfair to Derek.
I thought so, too. Told her that. Didn't do any good. She just got upset. She made me swear again that we would keep her secret no matter what.
Did she cry?
Yes.
Did you hold her? I'm sorry. God. Ignore that last remark. I hope you did hold her, the poor woman. It's just that... Oh, sometimes I'm so ashamed of myself. I have these uncharitable thoughts about that woman.
Not you. You're incapable of it.
Oh, no, I'm not. You know, I did talk to Nora about it, and I told her that I was aware that she was making these insinuations about you and Jinx to Mrs. Goodman.
And?
She swore that she wouldn't do it anymore, and she meant it.
Good.
Nora? Hi. You must be Barbara. I wasn't sure I'd know you. I should have arrived first. You would have recognized the uniform.
Well, my uniform isn't quite as distinctive as yours.
Well, it's certainly nice to meet you at last. We've talked on the phone so often.
It's nice to meet you, too. Well, how is Dr. Kavanaugh this morning?
Oh, his usual busy self.
Hi. Would you like a cocktail?
I'd like a glass of dry white wine, please.
Sure. Well, Mrs. Kavanaugh is fine today. As a matter of fact, she's having lunch with the doctor.
Yes, I know.
You know, it's really strange. You know everything that he's doing, and I know everything that she's doing.
Have you worked for her very long?
No, just a couple of months.
Well, then we started pretty much at the same time. I hope she's as nice to work for as the doctor.
Yes, she's very nice. Too nice, as a matter of fact. I guess that's why I feel sorry for her.
What was that?
Listen to me. I haven't been here with you for 2 minutes, and already I'm crying on your shoulder. I guess it's the uniform. I always feel I can trust a nurse.
But I don't understand. Why should you feel sorry for Mrs. Kavanaugh? She's got an awful lot going for her.
Including the wonderful doctor.
Well, yes. Him most of all. Now, he is really one of the most handsome men I've ever... Nora, you spend a good deal of time at their home, don't you?
Yes, Mrs. Kavanaugh likes to work at home. As a matter of fact, I've become one of the family, practically.
I see.
And, of course, being her private secretary, I've also become her confidant, you know.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, thank you.
Hmm? Well, shall we look at the menu?
Oh, yes, of course. I have to be back in an hour. You still haven't told me...
About what?
You know, why you're sorry for Mrs. Kavanaugh.
Well, I shouldn't have said anything. I don't know what got into me blurting it out that way. I guess I felt I could trust you. I feel like I know you, even though we've just met.
Yes.
Well, listen, I've told you this much. I guess it wouldn't be fair to... Barbara, Mrs. Kavanaugh believes... Well, she knows, rather, that the doctor is not the most faithful of husbands.
You're kidding.
I wish I were. No. This isn't something I'm guessing at. She's actually talked to me about it.
Well, for heaven's sake.
I tell her it's just her imagination, that obviously he loves her.
Well, that's certainly how it seems to me. He's always so attentive. He's always sending her flowers and so forth.
Well, I'm afraid that's what philandering husbands do. I guess he feels a little guilty.
Oh, my gosh. I really can't believe this.
You know, when you do a job like mine, you can't help but notice things. I mean, I never tell Mrs. Cavanaugh what I notice, but all the time he says he's in one place when he's actually in another altogether.
You mean he lies to her?
All the time. And the women that call the house, all hours, they claim to be his patient. They're not his patient. There's one woman in particular, an actress.
An actress? Oh, you must mean...
Well, of course, you would know her. Yeah. She is his patient, of course. But it's more than a patient-doctor relationship.
You must mean Miss Avery. She was in the office just yesterday, and... Well, the truth is, I was kind of bothered by what I saw.
What you saw?
I really shouldn't say anything. It's definitely telling tales out of school.
Well, I've certainly been open with you, Barbara.
I really shouldn't.
Listen, if you're afraid that I'm going to tell Mrs. Cavanaugh, don't worry. I never tell her anything negative about her husband.
Well, this Avery girl called unexpectedly yesterday. Now, usually Dr. Cavanaugh won't see a patient without an appointment, but...
In this case, he made an exception.
Yes. Well, that surprised me. But what surprised me even more was when I went into his office, there she was, in his arms.
In his arms? You mean they were kissing?
No, not kissing. She was very upset. She kept saying something about...
Saying what?
Well, it was something about, never letting go. Those were her words. That she can't ever let go.
Oh, baby, this is perfect. Is it really just for the two of us?
Mm-hmm. It's just for you and just for me. And it's got all of the modern inconveniences that modern life can offer. It has no telephone.
Oh, good.
It has no people for miles and miles around.
Great.
It has no central heating.
You're kidding.
Well, don't worry. There are plenty of heaters, and you've got a husband here to keep you warm.
I just hope it's not too remote, because I want to go shopping. I want to see people. I want to go skiing.
Oh, you can do that. Here, you see straight over there?
Yeah.
Past that bunch of trees?
Yeah.
That's where a trail begins. That goes right down into town. When we want to go down into town, we put on our skis, go down the trail. When we're done in town, we get the helicopter to drop us off right over there.
Perfect, perfect. But I haven't skied in 2 years, you know.
Well, we'll get you an instructor.
Great. To make sure he's very young and very good looking. And I want him to have an accent.
No,
Okay.
hey,
Come on.
I want to get you somebody who's short and fat and balding.
No.
Mm-hmm. Because I've got the most beautiful woman in San Moritz right here by my side. And she and I are about to begin our second honeymoon right now. There.
Forgive me, please. Perhaps I should have waited outside, but the weather turned so cold.
There, Bruna.
Yes, Mr. Whitney.
That's right. Pleased to meet you. Oh, this is my wife.
Oh, I'm charmed, Mrs. Whitney. Charmed. Well, I apologize again for being in here.
That's okay. Are you from the welcome wagon?
Oh, Mr. Brunner is the one who made all this possible on very, very short notice.
The rental agent.
Yeah. Well, I hope that everything will be to your satisfaction. Mrs. Whitney, I took the liberty to build a fire to make your arrival a little more gemütlich, nicer.
Well, yes, it certainly is very gemütlich. It looks wonderful. Thank you.
Look at this. We have flowers. We have fruits. We have a basket. What is this?
Oh, yeah, my wife prepared a little supper, and I hope that you will enjoy this to go with it. This is a bottle of Liebfraumilch.
Oh, Liebfraumilch. Oh, you thought of everything here, Brunner. Thank you.
Yes, and here's a paper in English, and I also stocked the liquor cabinet for you, Mr. Whitney.
Well, thank you very much. That's just fine. Thank you.
And just one more thing. Yeah, this is a big surprise. Here, look.
Oh, no.
Yeah, well, it took a little doing to do this, but well, I finally managed to get it
You see, Herr
installed.
Brunner, I've been trying to get away from telephones.
But telephone, most people, especially Americans...
We're delighted to have the telephone. Actually, it'll help me feel a little less isolated.
Yeah, well, honey, we're on our honeymoon. Isolation is the idea, isn't it?
Well, I'm so very, very sorry. I only thought that maybe...
Well, you see, part of the reason we came to Switzerland was to get away from the world, and that is one of the main symptoms of the disease known as civilization.
Well, of course, I can have it removed if you want me to.
Don't. It's wonderful, and we're very grateful.
Well, in that case, I shall leave you to yourselves. Now, I hope that you're going to have a wonderful stay here. Oh, but I must warn you, we had some very bad storms here, and some of the trails are closed. Now, a honeymoon is not so much fun if you have a leg in a cast. Well, auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Oh, I love it. I love everything. I even love the telephone.
Yeah, well, if I get one business call, it goes out.
I'll probably want to call home and make sure everything's all right.
Well, that is not exactly the first thing that you do on a honeymoon, you know.
No. As soon as the helicopter brings my clothes, I'll slip into something more comfortable.
Raven, I can practically hear what you're thinking.
I can't help it. I can't get Bobbie's shoe off my mind.
The shoe in our car is not Bobbie's shoe. Why can't you just take my word for it, honey? Now, here, come on. We'll have a little wine. We'll begin our honeymoon without any further talk of murder or of police or of any of those other things that go into making up civilization. Auf Wiedersehen. Sweetheart, all of the lines are busy, but she's going to try again a little later on.
I hope not too much later.
Oh, no. Listen, why don't Why don't I go in and I'll take a shower and I'll shave. I'll be out in a minute.
Okay. Scott. Hello?
This is the overseas operator. I can make you call now. Go ahead.
Hello?
Spencer? Is that you?
Yes, that's me. Hi. This connection is so good. You sound like you're in the next room. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, Mrs. Whitney. How are you?
Good, good. Oh, I wanted to tell you, Damien Tyler is going to come by in the next day or so.
The police?
Yeah, that's right. He's going to come pick up a shoe that I left on the coffee table.
A shoe, Mrs. Whitney?
Yes, Spencer. If you're in the living room and you turn around and you look at the coffee table, there will be a woman's shoe on it.
There isn't any shoe on the table, Mrs. Whitney.
What do you mean there isn't a shoe on the table?
Well, there isn't. But, however, I noticed something peculiar in the fireplace when I came home yesterday. It looked like the remains of a woman's shoe.
How did a shoe get in the fireplace when I put it on the coffee table?
Well, I really couldn't say, Mrs. Whitney.
Spencer, look, be honest with me. I mean, I'm not going to be angry with you. Did you maybe pick up a girl at some point and take her for a little drive?
No, Mrs. Whitney, never.
No, serious. Come on, you can talk to me, Spencer. I mean, did you pick up a girl
Mrs.
maybe?
Whitney, I swear to you that I would never use your automobile in that way.
But I found a shoe under the front seat of the car, and I'm very confused because if you don't know who it belongs to, then it must be...
What do you think you're doing?
I'm talking to Spencer.
Spencer, this is Mr. Whitney calling. Now, you know that you're not telling the truth about that shoe.
Mr. Whitney, I'm not quite sure.
I know for a fact that you had a girlfriend in the car, and that's where the shoe came from. And if it ever happens again, Spencer, you're fired. You get it?
Skylar, he said that the shoe was burned, that he found it in the fireplace.
Well, that makes sense. He knew it would get him in trouble, so he tried to destroy the evidence.
Yeah, I know, but he also said that he didn't have a girl in the car.
Well, of course he'd say that, honey. It's a well-paying job that he didn't want to lose. Get it?
I guess so. But now Damien Tyler's going to get the letter, he's going to get over there, and there's going to be no shoe.
Well, it was a silly idea to write the letter in the first place.
I guess, but this is very, very strange.
Well, look, sweetheart, if we're going to spend our second honeymoon talking about shoes and about Spencer's girlfriends, maybe we ought to book passage home, huh?
No. I don't want to do that.
That is what I had in mind now for our honeymoon.
Only one problem. I'm freezing.
Oh, well, listen, I just put another log on the fire.
Oh, good. I want to warm up a little. I just thought of something.
Oh, what's that?
Spencer couldn't have thrown the shoe in the fireplace.
Raven, for God's sake.
No, really, listen for a second. I just thought of this. He was in the car with me. You were the only one in the living room. I won't mention it again. I'm gonna go put something else on. I'm cold.
Travel furnished by Capital Air.